Hi everyone. I just wanted to make another quick video here to demonstrate some of the things that I've been working on recently for the site. First thing I'd like to show you is some of the changes that I made to the workflows per your suggestions and feedback you provided. So let's go over to the hotel administration real quick. First thing you'll notice here is now we've got some different icons by the hotels. So this little $ one indicates that there's a workflow connected to an open contract right now, open on these hotels. And then the gear one here just means that we have an open service workflow. So not necessarily connected to a contract, but there's ongoing work for the hotel. So let's take a look at a brand new one here. We'll just make one. This one has nothing on it right now. So you'll see we have a new button here for workflow. And we've already got this one right in here. This is one that's been completed here. And you can see right here it's tied to this contract number. So we're just going to add a new one. And we can pick the initial status, and again, remember, you can make whatever status you want. These are limitless for you. And we've got a brand new open workflow on this, and you'll see that it indicates right here that it's service work. Here is the date that it was opened, and here's the status of it. It's in progress, and it's assigned to me right now. So again, we can go and view this. And this is how it was before. Again, it picks up these colors from the status you set up. I've made some changes to this also per your suggestions, and also to integrate more of the service work tracking that we want to do. When we add a note now, and again, I'm going to clean this up, the styling and everything. I just want to get the functionality in first. So everything is still in progress, but it all works. So we had the note before that we could add. This was the same, but now I've added the ability where we can attach items to this. This goes back to that items manager that I created a while ago that we can set up to create different items and prices that you can charge the hotels for. Or not even necessarily charge them for, but we can track it so we can do the cost-benefit analysis later. But so we can pick from the list of items here. These are all items that we set up here, and that's how much they are. And then we can pick a quantity for them. So let's say they needed 20 extra plastic stands. And we say add item. And we can add as many of these as we want per node, so there's no limit, and it's going to track all of them for us. We can also add a file here now. So if we click that button, we get the little editor here. We're going to add it, and we'll just do this here. See, it shows up down here. We'll start the upload, and then we'll say finished. And then it will show up right down here as well. Again, we can add as many files as we want now. So this should give you greater freedom when you're tracking stuff, because you'll be essentially able to open this workflow and contain any files, any items, all the stuff attached to the service work for the hotel within these. So we can track these per contract, per open service work, per date. There will be all sorts of tracking that we can do and reports that we can write based off of this info. But then I can click Save Note here, and you'll see it adds my note again on top. Here's my little note. But then it also put item and the quantity and then any files that I had. And had I picked multiples, they would all show up here in a row. You also asked about styling this differently. We can style it however you like. So if you have something in mind, like a template you'd like to follow, let me know. I can make these look however we like. The important thing is that it's pulling the data in correctly. Once it's like that, and it's set up in this way, we can change it to look any different way that we want. One more new thing that I added here. Let's mark this as completed real quick. I heard there were concerns that it was final and we couldn't do anything once we completed it. So we've changed that now. So once we marked it as complete, the regular buttons disappear, but now we've got this extra one. We've got this one open right here. And we can click to reopen it. And we get this, again, this same kind of menu here, so we can choose what we want to reopen it as, whatever status here. And then another note if we want to add one. And then we just say reopen. And now we've reopened it. All of the different options are available, and it will also show up as an active workflow again. So that's all the changes to the workflow so far. Like I said, we're going to do some more stuff with the styling, but a lot of things are really in place now to help us track this and to help us write some really good, solid reports for you guys. All right, let's go back to the main menu. I want to show you some other things I've done. Courtesy calls, another thing that I added recently. This will help you track any courtesy calls for hotels and also notify you when the next ones are due. So if we click here, you'll see here we get a list. This is just a list of different hotels, hotel name and address, and then we've got last call date and next call date. So these are the last times that we've called, and you see, we'll have data in here. These are just all ones that I've added, so obviously there's no records yet. But these are the ones I've been testing with. So What it's plotting out right now is it's going to take whatever the last call date was, and it's going to estimate that the next one should be 3 months after that. If you need it to be changed to something else, just let me know. It's a really easy change to make. If the call is overdue, so if the date has passed and it needs to, it'll show up in red right here. But this also, since we can do something like this, we can also write reports. So you can get a report of, oh, hey, all of these different ones need to be called. They're past the date. Or, you can run a report between this date and this date and find all the hotels that need to be called. So I'm going to add a lot of different search functionality into that when we do the reporting. But the important thing is we're capturing it here now. So for any of these hotels, they just show up once here. We can click the action button, the view icon here to view it. These were all the calls that we've made here. And then we can click the magnifying glass next to them just to see the information. So here's who we called. It was called this date by this person. And then any of the notes that we leave will show up right down in this area. And then we can add a new call too. So it's going to pick the default date of today, but you can change that to anything you want with this date picker. So let's say it was a couple days ago. And you can type in more notes here again. Continue. And now you'll see this one shows up right here. We say close, and then you'll see the last call date updated to what we just picked, and the next call date also recalculated, knowing that, okay, we don't have to call them for another 3 months. So this is not a hard date by any means. This just lets you know 3 months out, and it can be used to alert us. But as soon as you make that next call, it's going to plot the next one for 3 months ahead of time. All right, so that's all we've got there so far. One thing I'm in the middle of right now is this agreement manager. This is very raw right now, so I don't want you to get the idea that this is finished by any means, but I'd like to show you what we've got just so you can see the capability that this will have once it's done. If I click on here, this is intended really for you, Ken, when you're on the road, to be able to get information from the sponsors and hotels and get their signature and just basic information as an agreement. So when you click that agreements button, you only get these two ones. We can either start a brand new one immediately, or we can look at some existing ones. So if we click Start a New One, we get options for hotels and sponsors right here. I haven't done the sponsors yet, but the hotel ones are done, or mostly done anyway. So we're going to start with that. Once we click that, we get taken to this menu here. Now you have two options. If the hotel's already in your database, so this has already been added, either you're doing a brand new agreement with them, or you've already pre-added their information before you went out on the road, or something like that, you can pick them from this list. And here's a search box right here, so you can easily narrow it down. So if I just wanted the Travelodge, I could just do that. In the case, though, that there is not, that they've not been added to your database yet, you're just on the road and you just see somebody and you want to do an agreement with them or start collecting information, you can just search here. So let's say, I don't even know, Red Roof Inn. If we just do a simple search like that, oops, it's going to give us weird results because it doesn't know exactly, which one we're looking for. But if we narrow it down more, and then hit search, now we get a much more condensed list of things that will come up here, and it's going to grab anything that's close to that. It uses Google search, so the search is very forgiving of typos or wrong cities or closed zip codes or anything like that. But what you can do from here is say, let's say that, oh, actually it was the Howard Johnson we wanted. We want to use this one. We can click Use Hotel, and it's going to do two things here. It's going to start a brand new agreement here that we can start adding stuff to and adding information to. And it's also going to take that hotel information that it grabbed, which is the name and the address, and sometimes the phone number and fax and email, but not a lot of times. It really depends on what they've submitted to Google. But it will always get at least these ones here. And it will also create a brand new hotel record in your database for that and link these together. So you're not going to have to do a lot of redundant data information. So once you've clicked this to add them to the agreement, they're in your database now. You can start editing their record instead of having to do it from scratch. This is broken down into a few different areas for you just to try to make it easy. General information, if we click Edit here, takes us to a page just with the name, address, city, state, zip, phone, fax, email. So this should just be a quick one to fill in and save. And anytime you save, it's going to update the info in here. We've got specialized hotel information, and these are all just fields that I took from what you've got on that agreement form currently. So if you need to change or add any of these, please just let me know. It's very easy to. And again, we're going to do some more styling to this page to make it more tablet friendly. But this is where you'll add, their checkout time, the hours, these little indicators that they have Wi-Fi, pets, that kind of stuff. And then down here, we've got the contact person and signature information. So here we can capture who the contact person's name is, and we can capture their signature digitally right here. You'll see one kind of cool thing here. If we try to save it, it's going to let you know, hey, we need to do both of these. So there'll be a little verification. They have to type their name in, and they have to sign it. So that'll give it a little, like I said, a little bit more verification. So I can type my name in here, and then I can, just write with the mouse. And I'm doing this obviously with the mouse on my computer, but it works just as easily with a tablet or a touchscreen device. I've tested all of that as well. So we'll save it here. And now you'll see we've got my name, and it captures my signature as an image. One thing I'm going to do that I haven't gotten to yet is once I build the sponsor side of this, I'm going to build you a PDF output that you can click, and you can view the whole agreement at once, and it'll have all the signatures and all the information on it. So that'll just be, once you've added stuff, it'll be a quick click just to see that, that whole agreement with all the information on it. And then finally, we've got some notes down here, and you can put whatever notes you want in this one. And save these as you go along, and it will just save this on here. So this will be any specialized things that they tell you, anything they want to add, anything that falls outside of these fields. Basically, you can capture in this notes one. All right. So one other thing I've done here is I've started building the existing agreements page. So we're going to have basically agreements that are in progress, and we're going to have finalized agreements. Haven't gotten to the finalization part, so nothing's here yet. But we've got all these in progress ones. And we're going to be able to edit the hotels and the sponsors separately. So basically that whole interface that I just showed you for the hotels, I'm going to build a very similar thing for the sponsors to be able to collect that information that we need from them. This view button over here, this is where I'm going to build that PDF at. So eventually you'll be able to click that and see the whole PDF and download it very quickly and print it of the agreement. So, if they want to see the agreement or something like that. I can even split that up into the agreement as a whole, and then just the hotel agreement and just the sponsor agreement. So let me know if you need it to be split up like that. Let's see, what else do we have here? I believe that's it that we have for right now. So I guess if I'll keep working on this. If you have any questions or any feedback on this or anything else, please just let me know. And have a great weekend. Thanks, guys.